He mocked her as an Omega, but when she shifted into Luna, the pack. The rain was falling hard that night, a storm that rattled the windows of the Crescent Moon pack house. Alara sat on the back steps, her knees drawn up to her chest, shivering not from the cold but from the words that still echoed in her ears. You're nothing but an Omega. Weak, useless. The Alpha's son, Kale, had said it with such venom that it had seared itself into her heart. Alara had grown up at the bottom of the pack hierarchy. Omegas were the lowest-ranked wolves, tasked with the chores no one else wanted to do: cleaning, cooking, carrying supplies, and always keeping their heads down. They were not warriors, not leaders, not even respected members. They existed to serve, but Alara's spirit had never been one to bow easily. She had dreams, dreams she dared not speak aloud. Dreams of being something more, of feeling the wild rush of power in her veins, of not cowering when others walked past. Yet every time she looked in the mirror, all she saw was the small, fragile girl the others said she was. Kale had always been her worst tormentor. The Alpha's son, strong, proud, and destined to lead, took cruel pleasure in mocking her. To him, she was an easy target, the perfect scapegoat for his frustrations. Every insult he threw cut deep, but Alara had learned to keep her head down and endure. That night, however, something had shifted inside her. Something old, something primal. She didn't know what it was yet, but she felt it simmering beneath her skin, like fire waiting for air. The pack house buzzed with activity. Tomorrow was the choosing ceremony, the day when the Alpha would announce his successor and the Luna who would stand by his side. Everyone assumed it would be Kale and his chosen mate, Serafina, a beautiful, ambitious she-wolf from a powerful allied pack. Alara had no place at such a gathering. She would serve in the background, pouring drinks, fetching trays, unseen and unimportant. But destiny does not ask for permission. The next morning, Alara awoke with a pounding in her head and heat coursing through her body. She staggered to the small mirror in her quarters and gasped. Her eyes, usually a soft brown, glowed silver, shimmering like moonlight. Fear and wonder tangled in her chest. She knew enough of pack lore to recognize what this meant, but it was impossible. Only Lunas carried the silver glow. No, this can't be, she whispered to herself, clutching the edge of the table. She was an Omega, she couldn't be a Luna. The choosing ceremony began at dusk. The pack gathered in the grand hall under banners of silver and blue. Kale stood tall in the center, his aura radiating dominance, his hand linked with Serafina's. The Alpha raised his arms, preparing to bless the union, when suddenly, the room shuddered with an unfamiliar energy. Alara stepped forward from the shadows, trembling but resolute. Her silver eyes shone brightly in the dim light, and a hush fell over the hall. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Her eyes. That's the mark of the Luna. Impossible. She's an Omega. Kale's face twisted with rage. This is a trick. She's nothing. She doesn't belong here. But the Alpha hesitated. He, too, had seen the glow. And pack law was clear. When the moon goddess chose her Luna, none could defy her will. Alara's voice shook, but it carried strength she never knew she had. I don't know why this happened. But I will not deny the call of the moon. I am more than you believe me to be. The crowd erupted into chaos. Some cried out in outrage, others in awe. The world Alara had known, her quiet life of servitude, her invisibility, was gone. In its place stood a destiny she had never imagined. Kale was furious. From that day forward, he vowed to destroy her, to prove she was unworthy. He challenged her at every turn, sneered at her in public, and incited whispers against her. Alara, however, found allies she never expected. The Beta, Rowan, a calm and loyal warrior, stood by her side, offering guidance. The healers, too, recognized the signs of her awakening power and began teaching her how to harness it. Her transformation was not easy. Nights of fevered dreams haunted her, visions of a silver wolf running beneath the moon, urging her to embrace her true nature. Her body ached with the strain of change, her bones shifting, her senses sharpening. The first time she shifted into her wolf, it was under the light of the full moon. She fell to her knees, pain tearing through her as her body reshaped itself. When she looked down, silver fur gleamed under the moonlight. She was breathtaking, powerful, radiant, and undeniably Luna. The pack could no longer deny what she was. But Kale was relentless. You think glowing eyes and silver fur make you a Luna? He spat one night after training. You'll never lead. You'll never be worthy. You're still the Omega girl who scrubbed floors. Alara met his gaze steadily, her wolf stirring within her. And yet here I stand. Stronger than your hatred, chosen by the moon goddess herself. The months that followed tested her beyond anything she imagined. A rival pack, the Bloodfangs, sought to exploit the Crescent Moon Pack's turmoil. They launched raids on their borders, their alpha mocking the idea of a Luna-born Omega leading anyone. Kale argued that Alara should be sent away, that she was a weakness they couldn't afford. But the alpha refused. She is chosen. To deny her is to deny the goddess. When the Bloodfangs launched a full-scale attack, Alara's destiny came to its climax. The pack was outnumbered, their defenses crumbling. Kale led the warriors with ferocity, but it was Alara who turned the tide. Calling upon the moon goddess, she unleashed a howl that echoed through the battlefield, filling her pack with renewed strength. Silver light enveloped her, and her presence alone rallied the warriors. The Bloodfangs faltered under her radiance, their alpha forced to retreat. The pack, once divided, united under her. For the first time, they saw her not as an Omega, but as their Luna. Kale stood before her after the battle, bloodied and exhausted. His arrogance had been shattered by the truth he could no longer deny. You saved them, he admitted, his voice strained. You're the Luna. Alara looked at him, not with triumph, but with quiet strength. I was always more than what you saw. You just chose not to see it. The pack knelt to her that night, their howls rising to the moon in reverence. Alara, the once forgotten Omega, stood at the center of it all. She was no longer the girl mocked and cast aside. She was Luna, leader and protector. And the world would remember her name.